What's up, guys? This is GTA Rory here, bringing you the first video of a multi-part fair criticism and evaluation of GTA 5. And I say fair criticism because I am and have been a huge GTA fanboy for a long time. And a lot of the reviews out there right now for this game, I mean, they're really not very good. They're either way too pro GTA or extremely anti GTA. I'm really going to try to break down what I didn't like without bashing the game, because I think we can all agree that this isn't really a game that deserves to be bashed. You can definitely criticize it. I didn't like the plot, I didn't like the characters, but there's too much going on technically to just go around saying that this game sucked, because it didn't. So I'm going to start off this multi-part series with my praises of the game and just a few minor criticisms. And I'm doing this again because, like I said, I really didn't like the story, I really didn't like the characters, and I have just so many problems with this that I'm actually going to save it for its own video. There's just so much wrong with this story, so much wrong with the characters that they put out there for this game. And it'll be fair, I'm going to have good reasons for why I felt that this is the worst GTA story to date, and for why these are the worst GTA characters to date. So you're not going to get ridiculous GameSpot reasons like the game was misogynistic and politically incorrect for me. I mean, I'm not going to say those things. I'm bringing my A game on this one. On the subject of the GameSpot review, well, first let's start with my praises. While I said that I feel like the story wasn't very good, this is the greatest looking Grand Theft Auto I've ever played, and it's the tightest feeling Grand Theft Auto I like. And what I mean by that is the shooting is so tight. I mean, they did such a good job with the shooting. The driving is tighter, the physics are tighter, character movement is tighter. It feels and it looks amazing. So to give this game anything lower than a 9.5 is really kind of insulting. I mean, to just go out there and go, it's 9, No. I mean, you got to use decimals for this game when you review it, because the technical achievements that Rockstar was able to get out of this game are so good that I truly believe they will alter video game history. I mean, you can't give a 9 to a game that alters video game history. But I mean, really, you look at the reviewers, like GameSpot and IGN, and it's just dumb to put any stock into those reviews, because clearly they didn't really have a lot of time to do an accurate review of the game in order to get the review out by the time of release. And I took months and months of going through this game before deciding if it's a perfect 10 or a 9. And that's why this is really just a better, more in-depth review at Grand Theft Auto 5. And so you look at the graphics and the physics and the different effects, how much better the driving and the shooting are in this game, and you look around for bugs, and there's like no freaking bugs. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Definitely, again, 9.5 or higher, something like that. That's just so insulting. And I love how GameSpot pretends like, well, why are they so upset? A 9 out of 10 is pretty good. Well, no, because in reviews lately, we're getting into those decimal areas. You can't just give it a 9 and expect people to be okay with that. I mean, but whatever. So, just a quick reminder, because I talked about bugs a little bit. This isn't a Grand Theft Auto Online review. I might do one in the future. We'll see. So moving on to minor criticisms. And these aren't my strong, change the way you look at Grand Theft Auto 5 criticisms. I do have those, so stay tuned when I go through the plot and whatnot. But these are just little things that I think are fair to point out. First thing is the map. And I'll be talking a lot about some different aspects of it. But first thing is first, Grove Street. Wow. First of all, I don't know why people would have wanted Grove Street in the game, because, I mean, you had to know it's just not going to be the same as the original. So, in my personal opinion, and that's why this isn't, these aren't the strong criticisms, because these are opinion things, but for me, it's like, keep San Andreas in San Andreas, and keep Grand Theft Auto 5 in Grand Theft Auto 5. And I mean, they said they were going to do that. They said that they're keeping the universes separate, but, Leslie Benzies, talking about how they don't mix the universes. even though I've got Grove Street staring me like right in the face. I don't understand that. And I think he also mentioned that they're sort of afraid to do a modern Vice City because fans will be pissed if they don't do a great job with Vice City. But I mean, hello, San Andreas was awesome too. And I don't mind them trying to redo Los Santos, but keep the San Andreas shit out of GTA 5, you know? That kind of like ruins San Andreas for me. And this right here is one of the big things that right away piss people off about GTA 5 when I point this out to them, because these good graphics really made people miss this huge mind-blowing thing. People argued with me about putting Grove Street into this game and said, well, dude, you know, if they did it right, it could actually be really cool. Okay, well, how did they do? I don't even recognize Grove Street. CJ's house is a disaster along with the other houses, and the worst thing that people just don't even, like, it doesn't even pop into their head that the Ballas have completely taken it over, which is no problem, right? Because, you know, this means that we get to play as a character who's going to take back Grove Street and rebuild the Grove Street families. Oh, wait, except we don't. That's right, we don't get to play as a character that does that because Pussy Franklin, yeah, he doesn't really care all that much, you know? I mean, if you in any way consider yourself a fan of the GTA series, how can you look at this glaring fact that not only is the street that you spent countless hours defending from those purple fuckers, it's now been lost to the purple fuckers along with all of your favorite characters from San Andreas, which they really just glossed over. This whole kind of, you'll see this in the story a lot. They just gloss over it. They don't explain anything. And so you're left basically to just assume that they got killed or something, which is bullshit and kind of ruins San Andreas to me, you know. And then on top of all that bullshit, it's not enough just to ruin Grove Street, but now Rockstar actually has you play as a protagonist, Franklin, you know, who just really couldn't care less, which is just really a big kick in the balls to all their fans who loved San Andreas. So I mean, you know, well done. I don't know why they would do that. So that's my giant criticism of the map. And here's just a tiny criticism that nobody will agree with, because nobody has the balls to criticize Rockstar anymore. I mean, I get it, their games are good, but you should still be upset with them from time to time. It's okay to criticize them for shit. It's okay. They can take it, you know? When you look at all the gunk, and I say gunk because it is gunk in this game. There's so much gunk. There's so much, you know, the pointless stranger missions and random reoccurring events as you roam the map, and wildlife and hunting and aquatic environments, being able to go underwater, and the in-game television and the in-game movies that I'm never going to go and see because they suck, and the websites that I'll never go to, you know. I'm really tired about hearing that they didn't have the time to put San Fierro and Los Venturas in this game. And okay, there, I said it. I probably lost you because everyone is just like, oh, fuck the whiners who don't want, you know, to just do Los Santos and they want everything, you know. But seriously, think about it. Like, what is the good of having all of this beautiful countryside just for the sake of having beautiful countryside? I mean, one of the things I loved about San Andreas was that the neutral areas, you know, with very little to do other than taking the sites, were used to transition from city to city, you know, and I could take in these beautiful sites and environments en route to somewhere else, like actually having somewhere to go on the other side of all of that nothing, you know. In GTA 5, I don't really feel like there's a reason to go to the surrounding countryside because there isn't anywhere to go on the other side of that countryside. I feel the same way about flying, too, to be honest. I mean, half of the reason I flew in San Andreas was because it was a cool way to get to another city. And being the first Grand Theft Auto that didn't really have multiple urban segments of the map, it just really made me lose interest in the game. You also miss out on opportunities to give your open world credibility via mass transit. I mean, I thought it was the coolest thing, you know, to take a plane ride from Los Santos to Las Venturas, or taking the train from Los Santos to San Fierro and having all these cool sights to see along the way. I'm not going to say that makes this a weaker Grand Theft Auto, but you do miss out on a few wow factor opportunities. Oh yeah, and speaking of flying, how about these airports? I mean, for those of you who have never been, to LAX, Grand Theft Auto 5 doesn't even come close. I mean, my first reaction to seeing Los Santos International when I played this game was, have these guys ever even been to an airport? This airport blew big time. There's like a few runways and one jetliner takes off every 5 hours. Like, what the fuck? So for me, this validates my beef with leaving out San Fierro and Las Venturas, because all of the whiners out there who are bending over and taking it in the butt from Rockstar kept whining about how, well, they're just doing Los Santos because they have to get every little detail right. That's what they're all about, details. So for the airport to be this bad, they should have just put the other two cities in. If they're not even going to like actually get those details right anyway, no matter how hard they try, just put the other two cities in. And I mean, why does the map have to be insanely spot on anyway? The story wasn't realistic. Being able to kill thousands of people and get away with it isn't realistic. So why does the map have to be identical in every single way with all the little details and shit? And I mean, if you don't agree with that, that's fine. I mean, more than one city is what I'm all about. But if you prefer this kind of map, I'm not going to argue, I'm just stating my opinion. That's this whole first part is just opinion shit. I felt like, they really went crazy with, well, people liked Red Dead Redemption, so let's nature the fuck out of this map kind of stuff. The great thing about maps like San Andreas and Red Dead, and again, this is a smaller thing, so I know people will disagree with this, but it's okay because this doesn't matter too much to me, is that there's a smooth transition between the environments. Red Dead smoothly transitions from Blackwater to the plains to the swamps to the desert and so on and so forth. GTA 5 to me felt like they decided, okay guys, since people liked Red Dead, let's load this map with every kind of environment we can. And it almost feels like different places got plopped onto the map without any kind of thought or purpose, like we've got to have a military base in this game, so splat, there we go. We got to have a desert, splat. You got to have a foresty region, splat. Without really thinking about it. So that's my minor beef, and I'll wrap up the video with, if they're all about every detail, why do the clouds disappear when you get close to them? Anybody notice that? You get up to the highest point and you parachute, you jump out of a plane, all the clouds disappear the second you get even close to them. What the hell? And then also, why the hell isn't there any gambling in this game? Like, that's huge. I mean, you wouldn't think that with the greatest, Texas Hold'em shit that they had, in Red Dead, that they would just, not put gambling into this game, a game about crime. But, for this one and the last one, I mean, GTA 4, I know they didn't have it, which kind of surprised me. But at least for GTA 4, for Nico, it makes sense. They came out and they said, look, the story is that he's an immigrant, he's poor, we don't want to give you, a way to make him rich in a couple minutes. But GTA 5, the game that's quote unquote about the pursuit of the almighty dollar, what the fuck? So, I mean, that's just what I've got for this video, and for the next video, I'll dive straight into the story and the characters and, why it's so unrealistic, but not just realistic, retardedly unrealistic in a way that makes their living, breathing world just as unrealistic. It takes away the credibility of their world if the story in their world is just ridiculous, and it is. And then also I'll get into, characters that piss you off to no end for no reason.